Mental Health Foundation offers educational materials to help guide conversations with our students.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts because kids' mental health starts with all of us. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm Kyle Walls, your host of Truth to Power, and I'm coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and Text line. You can call in and text in with any of your thoughts or comments on today's show. Again, that is 1017. Oh, you can also watch the stream live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a share, and give us a subscribe. Shout out to my producer, Rhea Riley, holding it down on the ones and the twos.
Hello.
And shout out to you, Truth Nation. Now, listen, y'all. I want to move past some stuff. I really do. I really, really do. But if there's something you know about me is I'm very passionate and I get triggered. I get triggered by certain things, right? And Rhea knows me a little bit. She knows that I can be triggered by some stuff. But Rhea today gave me the affirmation I needed because I told her what I was talking about today. And she said, ooh, bleep them. I said, yeah. It don't look like that, Rhea. You said it in your mind. You said something about him. You said something about him ridiculous that gave me the affirmation I needed.
I ain't say nothing like that.
You said, bleep these folks. And so when I start today's show, and Rhea, I wanna do off the top today. I know you tell me you don't like the off the top with the music. And if you think I'm cooking, pot your music down because the music messes up when we go viral. And so with that being said, Truth Nation, shame on lawmakers here in Wisconsin. And I hope this is the last day I'm going to bring something like this up. But shame on lawmakers here in Wisconsin because the disrespect was showed out loud that they don't give a damn about black folks. Go ahead, hit them with off the top, Rhea.
Woke up this morning. You got yourself.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
Listen, Truth Nation, I wasn't really in the mood to be going off today. I had a good morning. I had a really good morning. I was happy coming in to work. I was perusing, seeing what I was going to talk about, maybe have some fun, because, I got some fun stuff. On Friday, I'm going to talk a little bit about, Aisha Curry a little bit. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll do something like that today. But nope. Your boy went to JS Online. I went to the Journal Sentinel, and I got ticked off. I did. I got upset. I got very upset. And again, shame on the lawmakers here in Wisconsin, and specifically Republicans. And I'm just going to say this now. I've talked about this before, but I felt like today I got to continue to make this case. Republicans are racist. I'm just going to say that. Republicans are racist. That's just what it comes down to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And y'all black folks who be doing that shucking and jiving and aligning yourselves with these people who hate your guts, is odd, it's different, it's weird behavior. It really is. See, they see you as less than. And there are a myriad of examples of how they feel about you. But despite the constant disrespect, the microaggressions, and the blatant racism, y'all still bow down to y'all master when it comes time to vote, all because y'all mad about Democrats not giving us enough. I get it. We can be upset. I'll be mad about it too. I talk about it here. I vent about it here as well. But Republicans are spineless and they're racist. And I'm not just saying that because that's the way I feel. I'm saying it because I have proof. I have proof of this. There are multiple incidents that occurred over the last 2 weeks that shed light on why we as black people should never, and I mean never, trust a Republican. I'm going to share some of those examples shortly, but first I want to start what really set me off today. What really made me mad today, I was feeling good this Wednesday. I'm halfway through the week. I got a nice little event I'm going to tonight where I'm going to be around some famous people, you know what I'm saying? And so maybe some folks I could be friends with that can get me from being broke and poor. But I was feeling good about myself. Dressed nice. I look good today, don't I, Rhea? Dressed nice today. I don't know why Zach's wagging the fingers. That's something that Gen Z folks do when they wag the finger like the Kimbe Mutombo. That must be a good thing. Thank you, Zach. I'll wag the finger back. Thank you. But as I was saying, I was set off because yesterday I spent some of my show with y'all, Truth Nation, talking about a person I don't even like talking about like that. I really don't. I really don't like talking about it, but I get irritated. And yesterday I talked about how Charlie Kirk is a person that we should not be supporting. We should not like. And I hate talking about it, but I have to because he is an excellent example of how white supremacy dominates our culture. When I talk about our culture, I'm even talking about American culture and generally white culture. He's a great example of how quickly white people and misguided people of color are able to turn a blind eye to racism and the offensive language that goes along with racism. And if a message that somebody is spewing of white superiority and of, being negative towards other racial groups, and if it aligns with what they're saying, and if it's something that resonates with them, they're willing to turn their blind eye to some of the terrible things that they said. Now, I discussed why we should not be honoring Charlie Kirk yesterday, because at the end of the day, he should not be a role model for anyone. And if you look up to Charlie Kirk or you believe he was a role model for your child, like some of these fools are saying, CPS should be called immediately because you are raising a little future menace to society. A child who will embrace hateful rhetoric that will continue to tear this country apart. Those people that I'm talking about are the worst of us. And if you are a parent that embraced that rhetoric of Charlie Kirk, you are an awful parent for allowing your child to listen to what he is saying. That was not for children to listen to, but some of y'all was allowing y'all teenagers and kids to look up to a terrible human being. Now, some of y'all complain about rap music and how poisonous rap music is, but y'all got to understand with rap music, that is an art. That is music. Many of that is fictitious, and some of it is just storytelling of what people's realities were. What Charlie Kirk did was create false realities and perpetuated racial stereotypes to get clicks and likes, all for fame. And now they got his wife being paraded around here. I was going to call her some, but then I was going to go too far. But y'all know when you parade somebody around here, you know what that could be alluding to. But to help push an agenda. Now, the reason why I bring this up, we are looking up, Now, yesterday, today I was doing my research, and yesterday I found out that there were 18 gutless and useless, yes, I said useless, Wisconsin state senators who 17 of them were white men and women, and one was a gentleman named Julian Bradley, who I believe is mixed, half black. And I would guess based off he was being raised in lacrosse, I would guess based off his upbringing, he was raised by a white woman, which probably made him disconnected to his blackness, so he does not have a connection to black people. So when he votes for a resolution like he did yesterday with these other 17 white folks in the state Senate with a resolution honoring Charlie Kirk. So do understand that these Republicans do not give a damn about you, because when they are using our tax dollars to vote on a resolution for Charlie Kirk, honoring him is disrespectful. And I want to say shout out to LaTanya Johnson for standing up for real Americans. She said she and her Democratic colleagues fought back against this. And even yesterday, she read off some of the disrespectful, demeaning, and hateful and bigoted comments that Charlie Kirk made. And after literally reading off 8 comments that he has said, her 17 white Republican colleagues and 1 mixed Republican shrugged it off and still decided that he was a great man worthy of this. And 1 Republican, State Senator Chris Kapanga, who I did ask to join my show, haven't heard back. They're trying to have him join my show, but they probably won't after this. But a State Senator Chris Kapanga of Delafield had the audacity to respond to LaTanya Johnson after she simply just read off the hateful things that Kirk said in saying why he should not get honored with a resolution on yesterday. Chris Kapanga, a white state senator of Delafield, had the audacity to say that just because you disagree with somebody's viewpoints doesn't mean you should say things like that. He criticized Johnson and said her comments were ignorance, racism, and hatred personified. He said there was no reason to trash Kirk because lawmakers disagree with his viewpoints. These white Republicans are so out of touch. They have no idea what it is like to be treated like a second-class citizen here in this country. To tell a black woman, to tell a black person that they are personifying racism because they called out someone else's racist comments is a perfect example of what white supremacy is and why we as black people should never vote for these Republicans. Because if they cannot admit that someone made racist and offensive comments, then we will never reach the full equality that we deserve in this country. He told a black woman who just read comments that she was personifying bigotry and said because your views don't align with his, you shouldn't say these things. It's not about the views, it is about the rhetoric that everybody should be condemning. So again, when we tell black people to go vote for Republicans, this is what the hell y'all telling black folks to vote for. Somebody that is willing to call a black woman racist or saying she's personifying racism by reading off racist comments somebody made that they're trying to honor. Now, also, according to the Journal Sentinel, back in 2019, Republican lawmakers, they blocked a resolution to honor prominent black Americans during Black History Month, which is February, until they removed the name of former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick from being honored. Now, Colin Kaepernick is from Wisconsin, and since he kneeled during the national anthem to protest racial discrimination, the Republicans said, you got to get rid of his name because he kneeled. It's crazy to me because the whole point of him kneeling was because he talked to a veteran that told him to kneel. But as Kaylin Haywood said, the third, shout out to him, he said there is a different bar for people of color from Wisconsin to be honored as opposed to a white non-Wisconsinite. The majority of that party doesn't actually care about political violence unless it affects people who look like you or think like you. Ding, 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 Kaylin Haywood III. He was so spot on. These folks put up a fight to deny Colin Kaepernick, who was taking a knee as a United States military veteran advised him to do in order to use his right to protest, his freedom of speech to protest the national anthem by taking a knee in a respectful way, and they refused to sign a resolution to honor black folks during Black History Month. But they fought their ass off yesterday and passed a resolution to honor somebody that spoke hateful comments and hateful rhetoric. Truth Nation, these are the type of people who are running your state. They're gung-ho to do stuff like that. They're gung-ho to support racism. These racist white Republicans and black folks who vote that way are clueless. And for the black folks, they don't truly know themselves. And for me, when I think about this, y'all know me, I talk about taxes all the time because I hate them, but I'm happy to do it. But Truth Nation, what a freaking waste of my tax dollars and what a freaking waste of your tax dollars. To sit here and have these folks misuse their time and our tax dollars to discuss such a stupid resolution for someone who is not worthy of it. No one elected these people to get up there and provide a resolution to honor a racist. There are more important things that need to be addressed during this time. We have a housing crisis here in Wisconsin. The price of homes in Wisconsin continue to go up. Where some places where you're seeing the prices going down, the prices are going up here. And they sitting here talking about Charlie Kirk. The cost of living in the state of Wisconsin is going up, but they're wasting their time talking about Charlie Kirk. Folks are trying to figure out how they gonna pay their health care bills come 2026, but these dummies is talking about Charlie Kirk. They should be talking about how they can bring jobs and industry here to our state of Wisconsin, but instead they want to spend time debating Charlie Kirk on our dime. These Wisconsin state senators are a complete joke. Chris Kapanga, you are a complete joke. Julian Bradley, you are a complete joke. All the rest of them that voted for it, you are a complete joke. And a woman named Sylvia Ortiz, I believe, who was the one Democrat that did vote for it, she's a damn joke too. They're all jokes. What a waste of our time and what a waste of our tax dollars. I'm telling y'all, ignore these folks who tell you to vote for people like this, vote for Republicans, because they are leading you down a path of being voiceless. Ron Johnson came to this station multiple times during the election asking for you to support Donald Trump, asking for you to support the Republican Party. And Donald Trump and Ron Johnson ain't did a damn thing for you since then. He ain't been here trying to do nothing to help you since then. The only thing they delivered for the black community is having our babies zip-tied outside of a building in Chicago. And again, as y'all can tell, I'm not happy about this at all. I'm not. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I feel like we as a community, when we see people showing us who they are, we need to pay attention. When we as a community hear people saying things like this and aligning themselves with anti-black rhetoric and things that will not advance we as a people, we need to pay attention. We must listen to that. I cannot express how ashamed and disappointed I am of the Republicans who wasted our tax dollars, wasted my tax dollars on some damn Charlie Kirk yesterday. Them folks are extremely flawed individuals character-wise and have no business representing the state of Wisconsin. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. You can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a share, and give us a subscribe, Truth Nation. But I'm telling y'all, today I'm going to tell y'all why you should not be voting for anything other. You can vote, you should never vote for Republicans. You can vote for the Green Party. You can vote for Libertarians. You can vote for whatever, gas is too damn high party that was out here before. You can vote for Democrats, but we as black people should not be giving Republicans our vote because Republicans embrace hate and embrace racism. So I hear people saying the lesser of two evils. No. You can dislike the Democrats all you want, but they are not as evil as these Republicans because Republicans embrace racism. Democrats do not. And when we come back, we will hear from MAGA pastors on how they feel about black people. We will hear from the young Republican leaders who are literally part of the National Republican Party organization for young Republicans And I will discuss how they feel about black people, because I think it's important for us to understand that through all these emotions and through all this passion, I'm still going to be sharing information and facts that I feel like we need to know. And it's good to understand that if you vote for a Republican as a person of color, you are aligning yourselves with someone who hates your guts. I'll explain more on the other side. It is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Keep it locked. We'll have more on the other side.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
I'm going to say something. I'm a conservative, as you know. I might not agree with you all the time, but even when I don't agree with you, you crack me up. And the other guy, he just pretends conservative all day. And you do make me think. But when you do better than anyone, you think on your feet.
Now that was a compliment coming from somebody who is as Trump-loving as he is, that can appreciate what we do here.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We believe that self-care isn't selfish. I'm Maddie from Sweet Talks, a women-owned and operated medical spa fostering self-love and confidence. We believe that beauty is about feeling empowered from within, and it's truly a passion for our team at Sweet Talks. Your goals are our goals. Our services go beyond injectables, including facials, lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. There's even a cafe, complimentary to all patients. Get started today at Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Gina Della and her team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin always have the winning game plan. Check out the championship caliber play call this month. A whole house of beautiful, new, energy-efficient Pella windows for as low as $297 a month, and get this, 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's like running a drive that keeps moving the chains with no penalties and no interest. And I can tell you from my experience, Pella Windows actually stop the drafts. You'll stay comfortable no matter how cold it gets outside. Think about it. Energy savings, comfort, and a great monthly payment you can actually manage. That's why I trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and why this is the right time to make your move. Call today and schedule your free consultation at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 10/31 of 2025.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and I'm coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. Again, that is 833-212-1017. I'm a tad bit fired up today, but I'm be honest. My producer Rhea Riley, she gaslit me a little bit today, but when I told her about the story, when I told you about this story, you said, "Oh," you didn't cuss, but you said, "Oh," did you not?
I did do that.
Exactly. I said, well, hell, that's the affirmation I need.
Oh, okay.
I said, that's the affirmation I need. Because you saw after you said that, I said, yeah. And this damn person did that. Can't believe I'm talking like this. Boy, if I had an after hour show, I'll be really going in on folks.
I mean, you cutting it close sometimes.
I'll be cutting it close. I'll be trying. But you can also watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure y'all give us a like. Make sure y'all give us a subscribe as well. And on YouTube, Sincere Ronnie Ray Real says, so why then, Kyle, do y'all as a panel, as in I believe hosts, interview people like Ron Johnson? Because after all, that's influence and supporting their cause. Well, I think it's important for me. I think it's important for us to hear from both sides. And I know when I wanted to speak with former attorney general who was running for state Supreme Court, and his name is escaping me at this point. When I wanted to interview him, I wanted to interview him because I do believe that we should hear from everybody, but also I believe when I have this platform, I could call people out. Just like when it came to Susan Crawford, I asked her about some of the things that she had said and things that she had done. And with Brad Schimmel, I was going to ask him some of the things he has done as well. So I was going to get Chris Campanga on today because I wanted to ask Chris about the red light cameras, but then also I wanted to ask Chris why he thought it was a good use of our tax dollars to honor somebody who made these racist comments, why he thought it was okay to tell a black woman that she was personifying racism and bigotry, why he was ignoring the comments that a white man made about African Americans. And so haven't heard back yet. And again, after, I'm sure this will get around and I'm sure he won't be joining. But I think it's important because I want to call people out and ask people questions. Just like I talked to Chevy, I asked him some tough questions. I just want to hear what people have to say. Not to be disrespectful for him either, but I definitely think it's important because I do know some people listening may still be making up their minds when it comes to certain elections and come to voting. But do know next spring, if Tom Tiffany, who will probably be the Republican nominee, if he ends up wanting to come on our station, I will ask him some questions. And I'll let y'all make a decision based off of that because I can't tell y'all what to do. I can just only give y'all the information. But I appreciate y'all chiming in on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Again, make sure y'all give us a like and make sure y'all give us a subscribe as well. And moving on, though, because, again, I was very upset about the whole waste of our tax dollars about trying to, instead of focusing on how we can move Wisconsinites forward, a damn resolution for a racist individual does nothing for us. It does nothing to boost the economy. It does nothing to improve, our education score. It does nothing to improve the fact that a report just came out this morning that Wisconsin is one of the most unaffordable places to attend college at. That's news. We can break that down to what happened over the last decade that caused the price of schools to go up. But they not focus on that. They rather focus on stuff that truly doesn't matter. But today I really want to let folks know, whatever you do not vote for Republicans. And now I say that because I just believe that a vote for these downright riding moralist individuals is a wasted vote. And the Republican Party has grown more conservative and has embraced the culture of white nationalism significantly over the last decade. Really, the election of Barack Obama really caused for a lot of these Republicans, specifically white people, to feel a certain type of way. They felt as if they were losing their country. You heard of the Tea Party talking about we want to take our country back. And this racism really grew to where the Republican Party basically died, and this far-right conservative movement that was led by Donald Trump has grown. And as you can see in a lot of state elections, like here, look, the state of Michigan, the state of Pennsylvania, the state of Wisconsin, all three of those states, hell, Arizona, all four of those states are swing states that have Democratic governors, but they all voted for Donald Trump. There is this movement of MAGA, of far-right folks, where they're able to galvanize and stoke a fear in people. And so there's this movement, especially with this white Christian nationalists who are, using the Bible to distort and justify hostility towards people of color. And with these white Christian nationalists, they promote the idea that America must remain or become white and Christian. See, these folks have found a safe and comforting home in the common day Republican Party. And the things they believe are truly gross. And I want to share some of these clips and some of this information on what these people believe so y'all can hear from yourselves and also react to what they believe. Now, one of these white nationalist pastors, his name is Joel Webbin. Joel Webbin went on a podcast, and he went on a podcast to share his thought. Remember, this is a pastor. This is a person with a pulpit, with a following. This is a person who goes on podcasts. This is a person that people believe in, that people hang on his every word, people who are influenced by him. This individual, Joel Webbin, went on a podcast and had this to say about black people. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube, so you can hear what he had to say.
Hey, cut it out. You need to grow up. Stop throwing a fit. You're throwing a tantrum. Stop being a little boy. You're whining. and crying about something that's ultimately your fault.
Yeah.
Stop blaming it on other people. It's your fault. Because here's the deal. It's like, well, slavery. The richest black people on God's green earth are African Americans. If slavery never happened, then you would be in a grass hut.
Yeah.
Right? Well, we need reparations. Your reparations are that you get to live in America. You're welcome. You're welcome.
You get to have the Christian religion.
That's
live
right.
better than your ancestors
The greatest
ever would
moment in history for any brown or black country is the moment that the white man's ships arrive on your shore. Because he brings the gospel of Jesus Christ. He catechizes you and your children. He brings exports. He brings hospitals, medicine.
And that is what Joel Webbin had to say, is that the greatest thing that happened to black people and brown people from countries, the greatest thing that happened to them was when white folks came and saved you because they gave you Jesus Christ and they brought you from those grass huts. This is the gospel that these white Christian conservative nationals are preaching. This is the distortion of the truth that they are putting out there. This is who some of these folks ask you to align yourself with when they tell you, let's vote Republican. That is what it is. And as somebody who's been to Africa, let me tell you, there wasn't not one grass hut that I went by. There was a lot of pollution from all the oil or from all the gas that they had. But from somebody who went to an island and literally was partying at a mansion on an island in Nigeria, for somebody that was staying in nice hotels and going to good restaurants and going to a community to go to a wedding, where I saw a lot of African, well, I shouldn't say African American, but I saw a lot of African folks, Nigerian folks, living their best lives. To sit here and listen to these white nationalist pastors who vote conservative and have a pulpit of people who follow them disrespect black people is egregious. They act as if Africa had nothing in it before. They act as if Africa did not have legacy stolen from them, did not have riches stolen from them, did not have resources stolen from them. They act as if these white colonizers simply went down there because they wanted to civilize the uncivilized. No, they wanted to rob and steal the resources that they had. And it's crazy that these folks be acting as if Africa had nothing there. They must not know about the Moors and how they civilized people like in Portugal. But they love to ignore that history. When they see black, they think less than of, and this is a pastor. I just think it's so interesting, especially that I know Africans. It's so interesting that when they think of Africa and when they think of Africans, they think as if Africans have nothing. They think as there's no multimillionaire or billionaire Africans in this world. Don't they realize that Africa within itself has a lot of countries that have riches, that have entrepreneurs, that have millionaires and billionaires within that country who are extremely wealthy? Don't they realize these places have a lot of industry that makes their country go? They just think it's huts. That's what he said. You'll be living in a grass hut. How disrespectful is that? That is what they think of blackness. They think we have no greatness in us if it was not for them. But Truth Nation, it gets worse. Before we go to break, we're going to play another video clip because I just want to let y'all know when you vote for a Republican, you're aligning yourself with this type of rhetoric, with this type of conversation. There's another white nationalist preacher who has been labeled as the MAGA pastor. His name is Brian Suave. And Brian Suave shares how he feels about black people getting into his church. See, he wants to let you know that you got to be a certain type of black, got to act a certain type of way in order to get into his church. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube or turn up your radio to hear what Brian Suave, another MAGA pastor, has to say about black people.
Let's say that somebody was coming into our church and they're black, and would they be eligible for membership in our church? Yes, they of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church. But would they be permitted to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call black culture generally in our church? The answer is absolutely not. Why? Because the characteristics that mark black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They steal, they kill, they destroy. They look like Satan in how they act. They are sinful to the core. They have besetting sins that are like fatherlessness, sexual immorality. They molest children at a high rate. All of any criminal statistic that you could look at, almost pretty much without exception, they excel at them. Black culture.
And again, spewing falsities and lies. And these are people, again, leading a church. These are people that on Sundays or throughout the week that people are going through to get the gospel and get the word. These are the people who vote for Donald Trump, who see Donald Trump and say, you know what, Donald Trump represents me. These are the people that some of these Republicans are asking you to align yourself with. That is something that I personally am not willing to do. But I just want people to understand, here's some real facts. White men make up about 28% of the population, according to FBI data, and they make up 55% of the kidnappings, 56% of the rapings, 58% of mass shootings, 59% of child pornography arrests, 62% of statutory rape, that's pedophilia, 63% of prostitution soliciting, and 75% of incest perpetrators. But he talking about what black folks do. Why don't we ever see these pastors, these MAGA pastors, talking about what these white men do? They only seem to try to talk about what black folks do. What is it that they trying to hide, and what is it that they trying to perpetuate? Why are they hiding from the fact that if you leave little Susie with her uncle is more than likely to be the one that rapes little Susie, who commits the incest, who sexually assaults somebody? 833-212-1017. What are your initial thoughts to hearing some of these terrible pastors and these terrible comments and how they feel about black people? 833-212-1017. I want to take your calls. I want to take your texts. I want to hear your reaction. I just don't understand, how can you be a black person and hear this type of conversation and this type of rhetoric and say, yeah, that's the party I want to align myself with. You got a lot of options, and I'm not telling you to vote blue. I'm telling you to exhaust all your options, because these damn Republicans ain't it. I'd be damned if I aligned myself and voted for a candidate that said this type of stuff. Well, I shouldn't say not a candidate saying this type of stuff, but a person who says this type of stuff. That man that said these things, they see Donald Trump and they see Republicans, and they believe that those people are going to move the country in the direction that they want it to be, which is a country full of white nationalism. But 833-212-1017. We come back. We'll take your calls. We'll take your text. Keep it locked. You're listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017, The Truth.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. 1017 The Truth is the proud home of Marquette Hilltoppers football. Join the Truth next Friday night as the Hilltoppers look to finish the season strong as they take on the Germantown Warhawks. Join our coverage starting at 6:30 p.m., leading up to kickoff at 7 p.m. Marquette Hilltoppers football is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And sponsored by Left's Lucky Town, C.G. Schmidt, Capital Insurance Agency, Boyle Fredrickson, Annex Wealth Management, Magic Productions, and Burghardt Sporting Goods. This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
I want you to really stress the importance of having an ethnically diverse blood supply. But I guess, what do you say to people that, for whatever reason, are apprehensive about giving blood?
It's not by accident that we are building this fixed donation site right in the heart of this Halyard Park, Harambe neighborhood. And to your point, our black and brown donors, it probably represents the smallest demographic in our donor base. That's attributed to multiple reasons. For those of us that understand the history, there is a lot of underlying mistrust of the healthcare system. And quite frankly, there's already challenges with how busy people are, how accessible they are to even know where to go to donate blood. And let's face it, a lot of folks are scared of needles, right? But when they get through all of that, the importance, I think, is a heavier burden on our Black and brown communities, because there are a lot of different blood diseases that require what I'll call more of a match in blood that only comes from people of similar ethnicities. Something that's specific to our Black donors and patients is something that I think your listeners are very familiar with: sickle cell disease. The only therapy that get them through their day-to-day life is blood transfusions. And it's not just what I'll call average or normal blood type or blood transfusion. It's actually a specific blood with a specific type called RO blood. And this RO blood typically only comes from people of African descent and Hispanic descent. And so that's why it's so important that our donor base is diverse, so that it helps our ethnically diverse patient population.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. The Packers are heading to the desert to play the Arizona Cardinals, who are now 2-4. Packers currently sit atop the NFC North at 3-1-1. The Brewers lose Game 2 of the NLCS 5-1 as they now have to head to LA. Brewers manager Pat Murphy says don't count this team out.
The one thing is you guys might have us counted out, and I understand that. 90% of the teams that have been in this situation don't win the series. But this team has been counted out a lot this year, and I think there's some fight left in them, and it'll be a little tougher path, right, doing it on the road, but we swept the Dodgers early in the year on the road.
Game 3 is Thursday at 5:08 p.m. You can listen to the game on 620 WTMJ radio. The Bucks end their preseason with a 3-1 record. They begin the season next Wednesday against the Wizards. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all. That's right. Y'all know what it is. Actually, we'll be giving away this money coming up pretty soon. At the end of October, we'll find our next 5K giveaway winner. Right now is your chance to be our 5K entry for the day. Be caller number 5 at 833-212-1017, and you will be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices in the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Again, that's caller number 5 right now at 833-212-1017 for your chance to be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. And always know, if you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, make sure you call Gruber Law Offices, because they will fight for you. And what I love about them, they provide the best care, the best service, and the best representation, because that is their priority. And y'all know there's no fee, there's no cost whatsoever to call them, to consult with them, or retain them as a law firm. You never pay a single penny until they win your case. Get with the winning law firm today by visiting gruber-law.com. It's one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. We're having a conversation talking about why black people should not be voting for Republicans. And I might put the final, nail in the coffin tomorrow when I talk about black people and Republicans. But I'm going to talk about why I'm talking about why black people should not be voting Republicans, because of the rhetoric that they spew and the things that they do that are extremely anti-black. Vote anybody else. I'm not saying vote Democrat. I'm saying find somebody else to align with other than these sick individuals. We heard a pastor literally get on here talking about how black men rape people at high rates, and they do this, and you need to change the way you live. Meanwhile, white men make up 28% of the population and 55% of the kidnappings, 56% of the rapes, 58% of mass shooters, 59% of pervs watching child pornography. They make up 62% of people who are raping little girls and little boys, 63% of people trying to find prostitutes on the corner, and 75% of incest perpetrators. That's what they make up, but they never like to talk about that. If anything, we should call them all WAP certified pedophiles. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth to Talk line. Al in Milwaukee, you are on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
Well, my thoughts is I'm glad you said what you said, and that's why I always speak. But you forgot to add scat and bestiality, too, because you had a serial dog rapist out there in Orange County, California, and that pug has to wear a diaper now because he pushed his insides out. The moral of the story is these people know who they are, but they also know that their average size is 5.5 inches. That's why y'all so mad at black people. But the real reason is y'all bored and y'all have nothing to do, because that black man and black woman could be sitting on the toilet doing number 2, and you will still find something to complain about. Find you some business and talk to your mother and father why you think about what you think. Have a great day, Kyle. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Al. Rhea, did you hear what he said? You didn't hear what he said? Rhea didn't hear what he said. I be listening to Al, and then he say things that just throw me off. And the thing is, when I hear it, I be like, wait, what? Or you're going to have to listen back to the call. I mean, he didn't say nothing that would get him dumped. But it's perplexing at times. Perplexing. The information he knows that he just says is crazy. Go back and listen to it, Rhea. Make sure you do. I mean, after the show. But 833, thank you, Al. 833-212-1017. Brian in Milwaukee, what are your thoughts on the comments that were made by the pastor, the white nationalist conservative pastor?
Yeah, that was horrible. But just goes to show you, this is 2025. Their mentality has not changed since the 1500s. This is the same mentality they have had for centuries. Progress has not happened. The only thing that's happened has been the currency. That's the only thing. It's been profit. They've made a lot of profit off of us. That's why they've allowed some of us to think that we're inclusive. But their mentality has not changed in 500 plus years.
You ain't never lied about that. You ain't never lied about that, Brian. And I'm just so lost. So what makes them feel like they have this superiority over others? What makes them think that being the real savages, being the one that when you come to somebody's land and they're welcoming you, and all of a sudden you stab them in their back, you literally take you bring diseases that you spread to them. You murder these people. You murder their men, women, and children. What in the hell makes you think that you can label them to be the savages when the only one displaying savage-like behavior is these white folks who were colonizers?
You know what it is? They've got a monopoly on the guns. They've got a monopoly on the media, the reporting system. They've had the monopoly on what's being reported for the past 500 years. Now, the reason they ridicule us and they think that we're rapists, murderers and rapists and what have you, is because we put our lifestyle in music. We're blasting it all over the airwaves, all over the country on a daily basis.
But wait a minute, Brian, really quickly. I got to move to, but Brian, really quickly, I just want your response, is we didn't always have music like this. They still hated us and made fun of us and had caricatures of us and stereotypes of us when we had music talking about love, when we had music talking about unity. It don't matter what the music is. The evil is in them.
They're going to be jealous. They're just jealous, and they're evil to the core.
Thank you,
They
Brian.
have no soul.
I appreciate that, Brian. 833-212-1017. Just having a conversation talking about the fact that, listen, what I have seen over the last 2 weeks, I'm not even going to get to what the young Republicans did and with the hatred they spread, talking about the N-word and monkeys and watermelon. They hate Jewish people, too. They hate everybody. They hate women. They hate everybody. But how is it that people can support this rhetoric? Specifically, if you are a person of color or a black person, how do you support this type of rhetoric? Red in Milwaukee, what are your thoughts on this conversation? How about 60 seconds here for you?
You know, I find it extremely ironic. There's so much evidence out here that proves that black people are the superior race, but our own people are so brainwashed, and white people don't want to know this information. I mean, people don't know that black blood and black organs is highly sought after. Highly. They're universal, where white peoples are not. I mean, the melanin in our skin, which protects us from the sun, as opposed to them, they don't have that. You know, and there's just so many things, like they don't want you to know all the contributions and all the inventions and all the things we've contributed to society that has helped society be where it is today. Black people have done all of that, but they don't want you to know any of it. They don't want, I mean, for example, refrigerated trucks. That was black people who did that.
Mm-hmm.
Where would we be without that? Where would we be without things like the torpedo launcher? It was a black man who did that.
Red, I appreciate that. Spitting facts. Those are the things they don't want you to know. We got other folks on the line, but Red, I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you sharing your truth and spitting facts and disseminating information. 833-212-1017. Anonymous in Milwaukee. What are your thoughts?
My thought is that, okay, I'm not a Semite or whatever, but I'm going to put it like this. As long as they can do the Palestinians the way they're doing the Palestinians, well, you think they worried about us complaining? They already got us contained, man. Now they're doing the Palestinian what they're doing to the Palestinians. It's just I don't understand this. We're always talking. Nobody want to get to the point of get busy like Israel. Show them the facts. We're gonna keep on talking until we're gonna keep on talking to my next kid.
You ain't never lied, Anonymous. We do a lot of talking, but we got to keep talking. We got to keep fighting back. We have to. You're absolutely right. What they're doing to the Palestinians is grotesque, and it's unfortunate that they had to go through that. And I hope that this agreement they have will truly lead to them being free and having a two-state agreement there on the Gaza Strip with Israel. But 833-212-1017, Anthony in Milwaukee, last call for the day. There are black conservatives that have the same views he has experienced. I want to hear this.
So I have my old team leader who has now retired. He goes to a suburban church. He goes to a suburban church that is a part of a fundamentalist Baptist church, and he had the same views. Matter of fact, he said, I wouldn't even go to any black churches in Milwaukee. And he was so diehard Republican that anything conservative, even some of the white supremacist speakers would say, he would say that same thing and say it's true. So there are a lot of black Republicans, a lot of black conservatives that hold to this same viewpoint that is part of the problem and will come out and say they're not being racist, they're telling the truth.
Anthony, I'm telling you, I'm sure it was frustrating to have to work around an individual like that because they love to talk about the negatives of our community, but love to hide from the negatives of their community. Can you imagine how many little girls across this country are getting raped by their damn cousin or uncle in these white communities? Can you imagine how many little girls are going to get an abortion or birthing their damn cousin sister because of what they doing in them communities? But they don't like to talk about that. They don't like to talk about that drug abuse that they have where 81% of them get caught up with this drug stuff. But 833-212-1017, that's the Truth Talk to text line. On the other side, when we come back, Truth Nation, we'll wrap up the show on the other side.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. 1017 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, 4 lucky businesses will win an opportunity for a monthly spotlight interview. Yes, you will win 3 interviews on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. To sign up for your business's chance to be highlighted on The Truth for 3 months, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That is blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank member FDIC.
It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card this October for a chance to win. Wouldn't you like to rake in a huge pile of cash? Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info at potawatomi.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
We believe that self-care isn't selfish. I'm Maddie from Sweet Talks, a women-owned and operated medical spa fostering self-love and confidence. We believe that beauty is about feeling empowered from within, and it's truly a passion for our team at Sweet Talks. Your goals are our goals. Our services go beyond injectables, including facials, lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. There's even a cafe, complimentary to all patients. Get started today at Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Tracy, going back to the process, and as it relates specifically to the partnership that Old National Bank has with Housing Resource, what does the process consist of when coming through this program?
You know, it's a referral process. We work with clients that first-time homeowners that may not have the counseling that they need. They may not have the equity, the down payment that they need. So we refer them to our partners like HRI or Housing Resources, Inc., because we recognize that those organizations, they have the resources, they have the tutorial documentation and all of those things that are necessary for first-time homeowners that don't know the process, may not know the system, may not know what's required for home ownership. So working with Housing Resources Inc. and other partnerships that we have like WIDA has been very, very advantageous, not only for us, but also the organizations, but also for the community.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
Monday night at Lambeau just got even better thanks to American Family Insurance. Enter the Dream Weekend Sweepstakes for your chance at the ultimate Packers game day experience. One lucky fan will score tickets to the November 10th game of pregame tailgate in Titletown, inclusive of meals and games, and a signed Jordan Love jersey, Packers tour, swag, and more. Your Dream Weekend could be waiting. Don't miss your chance to enter. No purchase necessary. Enter by 11:59 p.m. Central Time on October 23rd, 2025. See official rules and enter at amfam.com/Packers. Also visit amfam.com to find an agent near you or to get an insurance quote for homeowners insurance or car insurance. And Truth Nation, I just want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in today. I appreciate y'all listening today, but I just want to share my final thoughts. Listen, I'm never going to stop this. I'm never going to stop this type of conversation. And if any of you white Republicans or black Republicans who are listening are a little butthurt right now for some of the conversation that I had today, I have some advice for you. I advise that you go to the local store. I advise when you go to the local store, you get something called jelly. I won't say the other things. I'll just say some jelly, because I ain't going to stop. I'm going to keep going harder whenever I see this nonsense. This has been Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. The Tory Lowe Show is up next from 1 to 4. Peace out. I will see y'all tomorrow, Truth Nation. Thank y'all.